So first of all, the one of the reasons why you must find out also why the Lagos state government said they were demolishing. They were high tension cable wires that were falling, and people are leaving. That was the excuse. And the minister of the commissioner of work came out and he did that explanation. He said everywhere in Lagos that your house or any community passes through the high tension wires, because I think of an incident in 2003 when tension wires fell and over 50 people were electrocuted to death. The new rule is once there's a place that is passing, those places, your houses get demolished. We saw it in Lekki, we saw it in Magodo, we saw it in a lot of places. So that's the first thing.
This is Souq business landscape.
The Lagos State House of Assembly has ordered an immediate halt on ongoing demolitions in Makoko and adjoining communities in Yaba local government area, pledging compensation for affected residents. Now, the directive followed a meeting on Tuesday between lawmakers and community representatives at the Lateef Jakonde Auditorium Assembly Complex, Alausa, Ikeja. Chairman of the ad hoc committee set up by the Speaker, Mr. Noheem Adams, announced the decision while presenting resolutions reached at the engagement. Lawmakers said the suspension was necessary to allow proper assessment of the demolitions, prevent further displacement, and ensure that due process was followed within dealing with informal settlements. Now, the Assembly assured residents that compensation mechanisms would be developed for those whose homes and livelihoods were impacted. It also called for improved dialogue between government, agencies, and host communities before any future urban renewal actions. Now, lawmakers stressed that development must balance environmental planning and safety concerns with social justice and protection of vulnerable population. Now, this is another developing story. Now, the Lagos government also has announced plans to invest about $10 million in the regeneration of Makoko, a historic waterfront community in Lagos State. Now, Dr. Olajide Babatunde, special advisor to the governor on EGIS, disclosed the plans while briefing the press at Alausa Ikeja following recent demolitions in the area that displaced many residents. So he said the states would contribute $2 million, while United Nations is expected to provide up to $8 million in funding for the initiative. The project aims to rebuild infrastructure, improve living conditions, and support sustainable development in Makoko. Officials stress the program will prioritize community engagement, ensuring that displaced residents have access to housing and amenities while addressing long-standing challenges associated with informal settlements along Lagos waterfront. Swift, let me start. So, Makoko, this is water life. These people live on water.
Yes, like
bamboos and all that.
Yes.
And the main business is fishing. I mean, yes, relatively 50 to 60% of the smoked fish you get today comes from that area. It's a major business there.
50 to 60%.
Maybe more.
Percentage.
Okay. Or lesser.
Because polluted water produce less fish.
All right. Arguably.
So a lot of fish are coming in. No, let's start to do the statistics. A lot of fish are coming from Aja and farms.
Okay.
Because those waters, they are polluted.
All right.
So the number of fishes we see coming from that side, because that's the statistics, it's not as much as people are saying. I agree they're a fishing community. I'm very upset because I'm seeing women and children. And first of all, I come back to policy.
All right. So let me add this one to your submission. They have gone to the Lagos State House of Assembly, invited them for a dialogue.
Kudos to the Lagos State National Assembly.
Yeah, kudos to them, which could have been.
Because they have stopped, they have automatically said that there should be no more demolition until this is sorted.
We hope so. So
no,
now,
they've passed that law. That was the law they passed. I think yesterday or the day before yesterday. They were very adamant about it. That there should be no more demolition temporarily ceased until government, because you cannot demolish people's houses without a plan. That's why I said kudos.
Let's even start from the beginning. I'm very optimistic that there should have been, or there would have been, some form of communications before the demolition started. They probably wouldn't just wake up one day and say and go there. So there might have been some form of. Now there's this other story that the place was given to them by former, or they were allowed to stay there by former governor Babatunde, Raji Fashola,
Yes.
that they were allowed to stay there. But the question now boils down to where they are. Number one, is it actually legal? We're not even talking about environmental consent.
Hazards, yes.
Is it legal for them to stay there?
Yeah. Okay.
And now that compensation has been proposed, do you think compensation in funds, or better still, provide a place where they can go stay? Because cost of getting a house in Lagos is quite expensive. I'll leave that to you.
So first of all, the one of the reasons why you must find out also why the Lagos State government said they were demolishing. They were high tension cable wires that were falling, and people are living. That was the excuse. And the minister of the commissioner of work came out and he did that explanation. He said everywhere in Lagos that your house or any community passes through the high tension wires, because I think of an incident in 2003 when tension wires fell and over 50 people were electrocuted to death. The new rule is once there's a place that is passing, those places, your houses get demolished. We saw it in Lekki, we saw it in Magodo, we saw it in a lot of places. So that's the first thing. So it's not like they were taken out. And secondly, they were saying, look, according to the Geneva Convention, people are required to have three things: shelter, good shelter, a very clean environment, and of course, livelihood. One, the shelter is terrible. They live less than humans. It's not just a slum. It's a slum that is below slum. Hygiene is zero in that place. That place is
How do they
scary.
manage to live there?
Exactly. Now, the Minister of Works was saying, look, physics and everything in Lagos State is taken back to the Atlantic Ocean. That's where physics deposits. In fact, yesterday we were going through this office and we found out that there's a sewage system passing from here to the ocean. And there was a time there was a python in the office. They said that's where it came through. And so we even have a manhole in this office. And so they were explaining that, look, this is going directly to them. Now you are saying Lagos is smelling, Lagos is smelling. These people, they are part of the health hazards here. I'm not defending them. Like I said, policy one, like you also asked. Before you started to destroy, what did you do? I was so excited with the Lagos State House of Assembly. The chairman of Yaba local government came. They summoned him. And then he was saying, after they destroyed, I went there, I gave them rice, I gave them beans, I gave them oil. And they stopped him. And they said, where their houses were destroyed, where would they cook the rice and oil? On their head? And he was looking. And somebody was saying in this office, Toby, today we're having a conversation. And Barrister Toby was like, look, it just tells you how people are not thinking. When anything happens in this country, what first thing? Rice, oil, curry. What I expected him to do is, I see over 200 children and women. Can I take them to a secondary school in Yaba? Let them have little tents. Then call on all the residents of Yaba and other local government chairmen that please bring rice, bring gari, bring clothes, bring everything. Let's put women and children here first for safety because they are the vulnerable in this society according to UNFPA. No. They are women, babies, children, boys. They are more likely to be raped, sexually abused, people taken. So when they are safe, then the men are the builders. Because if you take everybody, the men will say if you take everybody, you are moving the community. So the men are on ground to protect the community that there's no further demolition. They are on ground. Move women and children. Let them be safe. Then you now start to have these negotiations that is now going on with the state. Or instead, you brought rice, you brought gari, you brought beans, as usual, to share tutu derika. And the people too, Nigerians, the begging mentality we are talking about that needs to be banned. They were fighting and struggling for 2 cups of gari. You just lost your house, you lost your property. What you were supposed to do was stand aside and watch the local government chairman and say, what is your plan? But no, they fought for rice, they fought for gari, they fought for beans and 5,000 naira, which is the person who says poverty. It's not poverty, it's a mindset that needs to be changed. And so you are looking at this. The Makoko, so I'm very happy with the Lagos State government for stopping the demolition. That's the first thing. So it means that, okay, there's a place. Now, they also took us back to history. That during Fashion last time, that place was worked on. They spent billions, millions. They had a floating school which has sunk. Now, when the floating school wanted to sink and they were having issues, they called the community and said, look, we need to move you people to a certain state. We need to rebuild. We need to do this. The community refused. We have seen all the celebrities in Nigeria go to Makoko and give out money. Anthony Joshua has been there. All the international people that come, the gist, I'm not part of it, claims that the monies, when they come, because 90% of the people you are seeing on camera, they don't own the land in Makoko. It's individuals that own it. So when these monies are being given, those individuals live in Lekki, they live in Magodo, they live in Abuja. When the monies are being shared, they now have a system that they say they are sharing to the landowners. So Anthony Joshua comes and drops 100 million. It doesn't go to those people. It goes to the real landowners. So those landowners are comfortable with those people living in penury and poverty, because the more people are coming, the financial monies that are coming in hard currency, so it's another system on its own, minus the fact that they are messing up our third mainland bridge, they are messing up the environment, they are messing up so many things. Mukta, I know you are itching to talk. I'm sorry. I'll be back with you right now. So the state government, I'm very proud of them, but they need to do more. They talked about the investment, and there was something the House of Assembly said again, which I was happy. They said, we are not starting a committee. We want to see the names. People from Makoko must be on that committee, because you can't just set up a committee. How many $billion? Somebody will just sit down, that someone that lives in Oshodi will be on that committee and eat the money. What's your business in that committee? And so these are the issues, according to Doctor, and these are the things that need to be sorted. So I give kudos to the House of Assembly. I love the fact that they bashed the local government chairman. He's a nice guy. I know him. But whoever advised him to go and do rice, gari, and beans without relocating women and children, that person didn't do him service. That person should be fired from his chambers with immediate alacrity.
All right, coming to you, Mokhtar. I mean, now there's a proposed $10 million regeneration of Makoko. $2 million will be raised from Lagos State, and the rest will be raised from international body. First of all, we need to look at these people living in Makoko. First, should they even be there? And do you think they are well? If you look the way the matter is going, do you think the people would actually benefit from every other thing, from all these happenings around them, whether it's the regeneration, compensation, or relocation? What do you think is the way forward?
If we go by the Nigerian standard and trajectory, there's no way they are going to benefit from it. Because if the developer go ahead with their plan, fishing will no longer even be allowed there, because Banana Island, the old Lekki were fishing communities. If you go to Lekki now, do people fish there? The Lekki waterside has become jetties and bars and restaurants. So by the time the government is investing that kind of money into that place, they want to recoup it. And earlier we talked about how mass transit has become a profit-making venture. So, and this is not just a Makoko thing. There's a demolition that is about to go on in Jakande too.
Yes.
These are government estates, and they want to demolish and build. So the question is not remodeling. Lagos is becoming a mega city. We want 21st century infrastructure. We want all the good things. But you cannot build the infrastructures for just diaspora and to just look good on TV. What is a good infrastructure when your people are displaced, when your people are in penury? What I want to advocate for is, whether it's Makoko, whether it's Jakande, whether it's other community that government wants to go in, or they want to bring in investors to build newer infrastructures to clean up, is that there must be money for the indigenous people. If you want to build 3,000 units of flats, separate 500 for the indigenous people and give to them. If they decide to sell, that's their business.
You can't even put a law that they must not sell.
No. They can sell. It's theirs. Because while they are living in Makoko, they can decide to sell. It's their property. It's their property. So whether they decide to sell, that's their problem. Whether they decide to rent it, that's their problem. Whether they decide to live there, that's their problem. But I understand that these indigenous people, like in Makoko, they don't have proper papers.
Yes.
But government should not only operate from black and white of what is on paper. Government should operate from a place of compassion. And if they've lived on that land for over, some of them have been there for about 40 years, 30, 40 years, that should amount to something in the eye of the law. So they have become the indigenous people of that place. And that place is part of them. They are part of that place. So why I am for development, improve infrastructure, clean up the lagoon, clean environment, good schools. The indigenous people of Makoko, in fact, they even have a ballet. There is a ballet of Makoko.
Yes,
they
ballet
have
of
their own traditional ruler. They should create a place for the indigenous people. They cannot just wipe away their history. So even if they want to stop them from fishing, the name should remain, their heritage should remain, fishing community of Makoko. They're already calling it the Venice of Africa. And that is where all of this investment is coming from. People are looking at the possibilities, the projection to have like a Venice of Africa, to build modern facilities and all of that. They want to see modern boats. They want to, turn to like a proper tourist place that anybody can come and it can be safe and it can be beautiful. But we need to start advocating for provision for indigenous people that are living in a place. So if you want to spend, if the place is good for $10 million investment, the people living there should at least benefit $500,000 to provide for them. If I'm sure the actual people that
they're already suing for compensation. The government is the Lagos State government.
That is not enough. How much compensation do we see? In the history, the compensations that they give people when they take their property is not even enough for them to settle in Lagos. People just go to Ogun State or, to go and settle, or they go back to their villages if they are not from Ogun State. So I think they should provide for them. So if you are building 2,000 units of housing, reserve 300 for the indigenous people to stay on their community because they are part of that place.
But also, don't forget that some of the indigenous peoples, because I know a uncle that used to own land in Makoko years ago, when during, I think, Maruwa time, and when they started the first destruction, he said that government had compensated them. He had told his tenants that, look, government is coming to demolish. It may just take time. But guess what? Other people took ownership. So that's why he said most of them, they don't have papers because they are not the original owners of those properties. The real owners of the properties have been compensated and they've moved. During Fashola era, they wanted to do that. Although Fashola was very tough.
Madam.
The crying and the sentiments. Please hold on. We are very emotional in Nigeria. The crying and the sentiments. This is not being
emotional. There is a thing about indigenous people. And it is injustice to displace people that have been living in a certain place for 30, 40 years.
Especially whether legally or legally.
Yes, what are you? No. So you should not let people settle in the first place. But once you let them settle and they live for 30, 40 years, they become an indigenous people to that place, whether you like it or not.
Please tell Trump that.
But don't you think that first of all, from the government side, they are saying they do not even have right to that place?
Yes.
But that is why I'm using the word indigenous people. You have to provide a place for them.
So at the end of the day,
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. We can speak good English and quote Constitution. Yeah. When you throw out 10,000 people to the streets, that is security risk to me and you.
We are
because they have to survive somehow.
But don't forget, they are the security risk. They are the people coming to attack you on Third Mainland Bridge. They are the people that are digging holes on Third Mainland Bridge. They are the people that are taking out the sharp sand on Third Mainland Bridge to make sure that the bridge is not
They are
having
saying
issues.
the same thing, madam.
So
They are
what the
saying
government
you
is saying
need
is
to
we
pay-
need to relocate these people.
To
And
where?
the truth is, they need to be relocated.
Ma,
Let's be honest.
ma.
You can't have a mega city. Those people, they have done a run of this is not the first administration that is talking with Makoko. This is not the second. This is not the third. It keeps reoccurring. No matter the money you pump into them. December alone, I know more than 15 agencies that had stuff there. Monies, schools, books, everything down to ground zero.
But do they want to be relocated?
That's the problem. Do these people want to develop? No.
My question is, I like where you started from. Relocate them to a permanent site like an IDP camp.
Yes.
But I still stand on my point that whatever development is happening there, you need to reserve some units for the indigenous people. Okay, for example, they have a traditional ruler.
Yes.
So you want to turn it to a pro-Atlantic, and then the traditional ruler, where does he rule? So people, that is people's identity. That is their place. So you need to make a place for them because they are the indigenous people of that place. Whether you like it or not, a place that has a stool that is recognized by the Oba of Lagos is not just a place where you wipe out of history.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, if
If you have a recognizable stool that is recognized, they have a ballet that is recognized by Oba of Lagos, and Oba of Lagos is recognized by the Constitution of Lagos.
federal government of
So it's a
Nigeria too.
legitimate community.
Yes.
They are an indigenous people. If they think they are occupying that place illegitimately, why did they have a ballet in the
So
first
the
place?
places that they
are
are
they paying
please.
ground rent for
Sorry.
that particular place?
You are speaking English,
Sorry,
sir.
Mukta.
See, sir, let me tell you something. The constitution, the government is there to serve us in our numbers. And see, let me tell you something. Today is Makoko. Tomorrow it can be Yaba. Next tomorrow it can be Surulere.
It's
Because
still
guess
a
what?
village.
Guess what? It's happening in Jakande. Those houses were built with blocks and bricks, and it's I know this Jakande
Yes,
estate
when
is
it
by
is-
Lekki Art Market.
There's also in Oshodi.
It has been marked for demolition, and they are going to give them compensation that is not current market
But that
reflective.
place-
Excuse me.
yes.
People have a flat, a 3-bedroom flat that, since Jack on this time, which is over 30 years ago.
1991, yes.
Do you understand? And then you are giving them money that cannot give them, and that place has become a prime location. When people were buying it in 1991, they were buying bush. Now their investment has yield. We know what a plot of land goes for in Lekki now. We are
Yes.
talking 300, 400 million. So people have invested money since 1991. Now it becomes a prime real estate, and then you want to take it away from them, and then are they going to compensate them 300, 400 million? The answer is no. We know the answer. So this is injustice. No matter how we speak English, we paint it. They are indigenous people of Makoko, and we are not saying don't clean up that place. We are not saying don't build modern infrastructure. We are just saying if you are building 3,000 units, 2,000 units, I'm from Kwara State, I'm not even from Makoko, but this is injustice. Provide 500, 300 units for the indigenous people. It is simple.
So first, the Jakonde estates, they were literally giving out. People paid little or nothing for it. It was free housing. That's the first thing we need to see. 90% of the owners of Jakonde have long also left those properties and walked away. The people that are living there, yes, they are people that they don't have a lot. So they are saying, look, if you take them away, they are the poor in Lekki community. I had a friend who had rented that place, I think 2010. The day he rented, he moved in his property, went to work and came back, everything had been robbed. And the people in the block of flats were laughing that, bro, nobody they bring anything come this place. That is how badly they live.
Okay,
Please
let
hold on, I'm coming. They are the people, even within themselves, they are the people who keep punishing themselves. Those people have been relocated by government, at least from the Jakonde story. I lived in Jakonde. I stayed in that area, stayed on Lokolo. I know the Jakonde story. They have been rehabilitated more than 5 times. From Fashola, for Tinubu time. It keeps reoccurring, but the sentiments they keep saying is, look, they are the workforce of Lekki. They are the poor people. Where are you chasing them away to? But that place is an eyesore. That's where the armed robbers, the beautiful,
can I say
the
something?
beautiful sisters who work at night, all everything bad is in that community. Those people that come and beg for money and break your windscreens when you don't give them, they run into that community for shelter. And that community has become a zone that you sell drugs, you do a lot. So trust me, it is a community that the government, I'm emotional, but it needs to be sorted.
Excuse me, ma, you see, like you said, housing is a fundamental human right.
Yes.
I don't know anybody in Lagos, no matter how high up that you are, that do not believe that there is housing problem
In Lagos.
in Lagos.
Yes.
Very well.
And for too long, we've settled for little or nothing from the government. On this table, I've said it several times. I'll say it again today. In America, Manhattan is one of the most expensive neighborhoods.
Yes.
There is a project building. Project building in America means a building that government build. And
Hands over to
in Manhattan, a flat goes for average of about $8,000, $9,000 per month.
You don't even want to do the calculations.
Per month.
No,
And the project building in the same place,
district. Yes.
in the same place, goes for $300.
Same place.
Same
Yes.
place, same Manhattan.
Yeah.
You can Google it. And we are talking more than 5,000 units. More than 5,000 units. You see them high rise. Regular people don't want to live there. Like you say, that is where the gang boys, that's where they live. People that sell drugs, that's where they live. But diligent people start their life there. Build, and maybe
Move
when
out.
they want to start having children, they move out.
Yes.
And there are some projects where it's mostly good people. You can find those kind of projects too.
Yes.
So what am I driving at is that government, if we demand it, can provide affordable housing.
Yes.
I look at all the Lagos State developments from Lekki to Igondo.
Yes.
An average civil servant, an average person that earns even the average
300,000.
300,000 cannot afford it.
Yes.
So we need to demand more. We need to
Yes.
demand better. I've been to the Jakonde site.
Yes.
It is big enough for government to erect a 10-story building
Yes.
that can have up to 500 units of housing that will not be sold, that will be directly under the Ministry of Housing. What is the commissioner doing if you cannot manage a 500-unit housing to make sure that when there's plumbing problem, somebody is there? When there's electricity, what is the commissioner's job? So I want to see at least 5,000, 10,000 housing units owned and controlled by Lagos State through the Commissioner for Housing.
Yes.
That average Lagos workers, any 150,000, 200,000, can get a
afford.
decent 2-bedroom
Yes.
for 200,000, 300,000 per month, regardless
No,
of
not
the
per month, per year. If it's per
per
month.
year. I mean,
You said per month,
I'm
please.
sorry,
Not
per
per
year.
year. Yes.
That's regardless of the location, because Lagos State has land in every place.
Yes.
So I want to see development in Ikoyi that is owned by Lagos State, that people that work in that Ikoyi that are serving the rich can live in.
Yes.
In Lekki, everywhere, all the way, we want to see that in all the local government. We want to see those kind of, because it's possible.
Yes.
And it can be done. They have the land.
Yes.
It's just for you to say, if your developers are coming, most of these developers, they don't even take money. They do joint venture.
Yes.
So government should not, when government is doing the joint venture for the state should be build our own 500 units for us that will rent. And the government should make their money bit by bit by this very cheap subsidized rent managed by the Commissioner of Housing. It is possible.
I agree with you.